Thurman, what's up, baby?
What up, man?
Chill.
How you doing?
I'm great.
You good?
Yeah, I'm
You
great.
good? All righty.
How many yards right here? How many yards?
How many?
About 27,000 something.
Yeah.
27, 27,
27.
5,
Yeah.
somewhere like that.
Yeah, 27.5.
27. Yeah, that's it, man.
That's-
I stopped at 12.
Yeah.
I stopped at 12 and 34 years old. Well, before we start all of this or whatever, I got something for you here. Oh, that's
Okay.
mine there. That's
Thank you.
mine there.
Yeah, I gotta put this in my new house I'm getting, man.
There
My
you
retirement house. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I hear that this is your office right here. Tell me a little bit about what it means for this to be your office.
Well, I feel like, you know, when you playing opposition and running back, you got the weight room is your best friend. You got to continue to stand strong. Especially when you get older.
Right.
I feel like I've been doing this like for 7 years now. Coming in early.
Oh,
I get
okay.
on the elliptical, going like 30 minutes, getting a good sweat, getting my body moving. I think, the more my body moves, the better I feel during the day.
Right.
So I try
right.
I get up like 5:30, get here probably at 6 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah. Do elliptical for 30 minutes, get a good workout. And also, I want to show the young guys that, this what it takes to play 15 years, man. You can't just think you could just get up and just go to meetings.
Right.
You got to work, man, if you want to, have longevity.
Right. Well, Bruce Smith was kind of our guy that would lead the younger guys into doing that. I hated the weight room. I told when I left Oklahoma State, I was like, man, I'm not lifting this many weights ever again. But I came here and, and I played 13 years and it became a part of my life, but the training part, the conditioning part was something that I'd like to do more than being in here lifting in the weights.
Yeah, I like doing field work too.
Right.
But, during the season,
Yeah.
your field work is practice. But all season, I really love like working with young guys.
Yeah.
But I used to work with like Lamar Miller,
Yeah.
Gio Giovanni,
Mm-hmm.
some of the young guys when they was younger. But now I feel like they they 27, 28, so I had to go younger this year. So
Right.
this past year I worked out, I had my little young motor
Yeah.
with me. Just, I'm helping him and I'm also helping myself. When I say helping myself, because I'm seeing, we competing, this guy only 21, 22. If I could keep up with him, during the season, I'm going to be fine. Because,
Right.
playing for a long time, you already got the, your mental, you seeing everything. So when you're on the backfield and certain runs, how certain defenses look, or the
Right.
ball should hit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, this offseason I worked out with Motor.
Yeah.
We pushed each other and
How is he? Is he a guy that you can look like, say, in a couple of years, this guy here is
Yeah.
going to be legit?
what I love about him, how humble he is. He's very humble and, a great kid. But he very natural. He got great eyes. When he first got drafted, and when we was in OTAs, when I saw him, on OTAs, how some guys coming from college, things be fast.
Right.
We coming to the league, but it hit him like he was just right on from the beginning. I said, okay, he got a chance. Then I saw
Right.
his feet. Then once I got to be around him, he opened up
Right.
and asked me questions. And then I see how much he care about the game and love the game. Then when I talked to him to come to train with me this off season, soon when I told him what time, man, I look up, he there.
He was there.
And
Right.
every day he in my hip pocket, man.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I gotta take this kid up under my wing.
That's good. That's
He's a
good.
great kid though.
That's awesome.
Great
That's
kid.
awesome. All right, so your decision to come to Buffalo. You've been here now
Mhm.
for a while. What do you think about Buffalo?
I didn't know what to think, but I know they had a good defense. 'Cause I
Right.
played against them when I was in Miami last
Right,
year. So I
mhm.
said, okay, they got a good defense. I know they had a young quarterback then, but when I got here, man, when I got around the guys and the coaches, like it's a family, man. That's what I love. Then when I got in training camp, this team remind me of my team in San Fran, like physical defense,
Right.
the running game, the scheme I love. I had my most success.
And you played under Greg Roman, right?
Greg.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, when I got in training camp, I'm used to, the last 3-4 years, I'm used to thud and just like touch and let you run.
Right.
Man, we got a 9-on-7. These boys coming down, banging. I was like, oh, I gotta get back used to this, man.
Right.
Then I was like, man, we can have a chance. Then when the fans, we had the scrimmage. The fans here is great.
Right.
I love the fans. I've been, I love it here, man. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. In your whole game repertoire, rushing the ball, catching the ball, picking up blitzes, what are one of the things that you take a lot of pride in doing?
My running back coach, Tom Rothman.
Yeah. I played against Tom.
Right. When you on a bad team, you kind of think about just your numbers.
Right.
He's like, hey, he told me if you want to be a different back, you got to do everything right. You got to protect, you got to catch, you got to run. And, a lot of running backs really don't care about protection.
Right.
Picking up blocks. When he challenged me to get better at that and do that, that was my biggest thing. I took pride in protecting the quarterback.
Protecting the quarterback.
Because when you see on film, you see a lot of top guys, like just shy away from it, and I think if you want to be in this league for a while, you got to be something different. You got to be, if you can protect the quarterback, you can be out there all 3 downs, and everybody can run the ball.
Right.
Everybody who play running back is blessed,
Right.
they're gonna be able to run the ball. So I used to take pride in very protecting. Blocking.
Yeah. I know my running back coach who was here when I was here, Elijah Pitts, played with the Green Bay Packers. He used to always tell me, he said, well, if you want to be a third down back and stay in there first, second, and third down, if you can pick up the blitz, they won't send it as much as they normally do. But if you can't pick up that blitz, be ready for it every single time. So I get where you're coming from because, I played in the era where we didn't throw a lot, but they blitzed a lot and they came from different angles. But when you have a quarterback like I had, like a Jim Kelly, if you gave him that extra second and you had to be the one to pick up that linebacker over here or the secondary guy over here, to give him that extra second was something that I took a lot of pride in. Like my coach said, man, if you want to be out there for 3 downs, learn to pick it up and it won't happen as much. Growing up, like, maybe give me one name or 2 or 3 names. Like, who was a running back that you really watched the most and really admired the most?
Well, first, I will say, like, he never made the NFL. It's a guy who, one of my homeboys who, like a brother to me. His name is Johnny Ford. He was a guy, like, played a couple pounds higher than me in Part 1.
Right.
And we stayed in the same projects, same projects. And he took me I was the youngest one. Like, when I was a kid, I used to be the youngest one hanging around with the bigger guys.
Right.
But, like my street.
I had that same
street,
relationship.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, some guy there had a younger guy just to count Mississippi.
Right.
So, man, he was tough on me, man. And
Right.
His name is Johnny Ford. So, first I'll say him. Then the guys who I looked up to, well, before the league, before me, I used to love Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Very patient, great eyes. Kind of, not as fast, but had like, competitive speed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I had to watch him. I also loved you. You was tough. Very, like, you play all 3 downs, catch the ball very well. One-on-ones, you beating them.
Right.
I just didn't. I was crazy because the face mask you have.
I had the face mask. I've been having. See, people always ask me about that. I've been having that face mask since I started playing football.
Right.
In 7th grade.
I used to love watching LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah. Another Texas guy.
Yeah.
Texas guys all around.
I loved it. Marshall Faulk.
Yep.
Marshall Faulk was real nice, man. Nice.
Marshall was nice.
Yeah. It was kind of, he did everything, man.
He did everything.
Did everything.
Yeah. They had a piece on him not too long ago, and and we still talk, me and Marshall, and they said, like, yeah, well, if it wasn't for Thurman doing what he did, because his coach was Ted Marshall-Broder, and when Ted Marshall-Broder left here, he went to the Colts, and that became Marshall's offense. And so he was always like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, same.
Everything.
Same,
we pretty much ran the same exact plays,
Same thing.
So when you mention like Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Frank Gore, only 4 guys have rushed for over 15,000 yards. You're in that company. And there's been, as you know, many great backs come through the National Football League. Marcus Allen, Eric Dickerson, Jerome Bettis, Curtis Martin, you know, just go on and on. But there's only 4 over 15,000 yards. How does that make you feel?
Blessed.
Yeah.
I say I'm blessed because what I've been through, man. It was a challenge to get here, man. You know, I had 2 ACLs,
Right.
2 shoulders, you know, getting doubted when I got drafted, saying San Francisco reached by picking me in the 3rd round, you know, and man, now, you know, even when I got drafted, saying I only played 2 or 3 years,
Right.
you know, and I'm still blessed to I'm doing something I love, and, you know, 15 years, still having fun, still having success, work hard,
Right.
and I love what I do.
Right.
I love what I do.
See, that was kind of the knock on me because my junior year, I had a partial tear of my left ACL. I didn't tear it the entire way. Teams around the league, why I didn't go in the 1st round, they said, yeah, well, he's probably only going to play 3 or 4 years.
You were second.
Yeah, and I ended up playing 13
Balling,
years,
yeah.
you know, and went in the 2nd round, 40th pick.
Yep.
7 guys went ahead of me, you know.
But hey, that kept a chip on your shoulder, right?
Oh, it did, absolutely.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, man. I told, like, after my rookie, you know, because 1st rounders, they gonna, you know, you're a 1st round pick, they gonna let them guys play off.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
you know,
They gonna give them at least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, when Ronnie Brown and Cadillac, God bless his soul, Cedric Benson,
Yeah.
when them boys went in front of me, man, I was like, you know, I know when I got drafted to San Fran, you know, they had a back there already. So
Who was the back there?
Kevin Barlow.
Okay.
So I didn't really play it my rookie year.
Right.
So, you know, I'm peeping out I'm peeping out what Cadillac Williams was doing. Yeah, he was balling. And, you know, Ronnie Brown was, you know, playing great ball, and Cedric Benson.
Did Ronnie go to
Miami,
Miami, right?
Pick.
Cedric
went to Tampa
went to Tampa.
with the 5th pick. And
Gotcha.
Cedric Benson went with the 4th pick.
4th pick.
So, you
Wow.
know, yeah.
You don't hear that these days.
Nah,
Running back getting picked like that
But
anymore.
you know, it was
You just
different
don't
back
pick
then.
it. It was different back then,
Yeah.
right?
You know, they love the quarterbacks and receivers now.
Oh, God. Yeah, they love them. You have a favorite play or a highlight in your career, or it could be a couple of plays or highlights in your career where you think back and say, wow, that was a hell of a play.
I would say the week my mom passed. She passed, and it was we played at the place the Rams, and I didn't want to go home. I just I stayed and played the game with my teammates, and
Right.
it was a run like in the 3rd quarter. It was a short yardage run,
Okay.
and the box was loaded, man. And I don't know, like when I watched film, I still don't know how I got out.
Right.
Like I got out, and I scored a touchdown. But it was like I was in the middle, like everybody just was over me, and I break out. And
At that point, were you kind of having a rough day, or did this happen early?
Early on, like that game, I was struggling because I couldn't think right. You know,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, because every time my mom used to call me a certain time, like before the game. So man, I'm like,
And
man,
you didn't get that call.
Man, I'm like, man, this for real, man. So
Right.
I'm on the field, I'm down. Then I had to snap out of it. I had to talk to myself and be like, my mom would tell me, she all right, she like go and ball. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I started off rough, and once I start, talking to myself and getting into the game, and it was like third, we was down too. It was short yardage play, like third or fourth and one of them, and I broke out like probably 30, 40 yard run and scored. But if you watch it, man, I'm talking about everybody was over me, and I say, man.
Was this at home or away?
That's away.
It was an away game. Okay.
I was like, man, my mom had to be with me on that play.
Right.
She had to get me up out that hole. That's one of the plays I always remember to think about.
Right. Yeah.
Frank Gore, whose mom passed away on Wednesday. In fact, Gore went back home right after this game to go to his mom's wake.
We've got 81 yards rushing by this guy, a couple of touchdowns, and we have heavy heart for him, and it's the death of his mom, but this guy's a heck of a kid and a heck of a player.
Now, you actually did play in the Super Bowl, right, against Baltimore, right? Baltimore Ravens. Now, if you decide to, and we're not going to talk about retirement or whatever, but if you do decide to hang it up whenever, will that be one of the things that haunt you knowing that, I mean, because it it haunted me for a while. We went to 4 and we didn't win.
I know.
You know, and do you think you're going to think back and be like, of all the accomplishments that I had that one opportunity, and it didn't happen for me?
Yeah, cause even though
I know it's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
It's tough to answer. You know, it's tough to answer because I had to go through that a lot
it was
for
tough,
4
man.
years in a
It
row.
was tough.
Right?
It was tough. It was after we lost, man. Man, I thought because we had a great team, because we got back. The next year we went to the NFC Championship.
Right.
At the time you thinking you got the same team, you can do it again.
Right.
Once we get back, we'll win it. But
things change. A couple of players change here and there, but you still had the same team. Right.
Yeah, the core was there, so I was like, okay, we'll go back. We'll get back. It's just
Yeah.
It wasn't the same, and we didn't get back. And I was like, man, I wish we would have just got the job done.
Right.
The crazy thing, we was like on the 3-yard line, man.
Yeah.
The 3-yard line against Baltimore, and it didn't happen. And I still talk to my guys, man, who I play with in St. Francis. We always bring it up.
always.
We
Sort of like all the guys that I played with, we always get together and we always bring it up.
It's tough.
What could have been.
It's tough.
As I got older and I started to realize, what it meant to go to 4 straight Super Bowls. We won 4 AFC championships in a row. But I got to really kind of talking about just think about all the great players that have never won a championship. I look at it as, okay, I just always pick 2 quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Troy Aikman. Okay, all right, well, I'll take Jim Kelly and Dan Marino.
Right.
Wide receiver, Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin. I'll take Randy Moss and T.O., guys that haven't won a championship. Barry Sanders. I mean,
right.
To me, probably the greatest runner I've ever seen.
Yep.
And only made it as far as the NFC championship with the Detroit Lions in 10 years. So I always think about man, there's a lot of great football players that never won a championship. And so when I go over the names, you know what? It doesn't make me feel as bad as I used to, because I was when we lost those, I was really hurt. And then you go into it's tough. Then you go into the Hall of Fame, and then you realize, you look around the room, he in here, but he didn't win a championship. But he's still great. He's still great. And I understand championships, that's what everybody wants to hear. But
that's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough to win, man. But I'm the same. I look at it like that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys who played in this league a long time, and they would get close.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't understand, and I kind of hate when people try to be like, this guy better than that guy better than this guy, especially at our position.
Right.
Because I feel like at our position, it's so hard to judge a guy, because some guys can just be average but have a lot around them.
Right.
And they can't game plan this guy. You
No.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't. Some guy very different from you. You different, but you still got the job done.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of defensive. I have a lot of defensive coaches I used to talk back in the day. When we turn on the film and say, all right, we got to stop that guy, and that made me feel like, all right, well, I'm that guy, right?
Yeah.
And I used to always kid Jim Kelly about it. It was like, they're trying to stop me instead of you. So, no, we just had a great relationship. But I feel you on that. It's just
I hate when they try to judge our position, man. You can't say Emmett better than Barry. You can't say Barry better than, because all it's different situations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. I can cut through all that chase and say, hey man, I did the best I could for the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
That is it. That's as far as I take it. Well, were you better than Barry? I don't know.
Yeah.
If I would have been on that team, probably not. I don't know. If I would have been on Emmett's team, who had probably one of the greatest offensive linemen in the National Football League history. Right. So, I mean, I like the conversation about it. I think now that, I didn't get a chance. I got 4 chances to win a Super Bowl. You got a chance to win a Super Bowl. It didn't happen.
Right.
You just move on. But that still does not make you less of a great football player.
Right.
You are a great football player. Don't you ever forget that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So throughout your career, and people ask me this all the time, Is there one guy that you like throughout your career, like, man, this guy here just keep giving me problems and problems?
I would say the guy who I really respected, a linebacker from Seattle,
Bobby Wagner?
Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner's tough.
He was, you have fast linebackers, have smart linebackers. He was fast, he was physical, and he was smart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I knew when we played Seattle, like, hey, I'm gonna have to be on my A game. You know, and I love the Pat and Navarro, like that was on my side.
Right.
You know, I played with, I felt like them was the top guys.
You played with Patrick Willis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like them guys was the top guys, but I had to tell Pat, I said, man, because Bobby was young too.
Right.
I said, this man for real, dog. And now you see, he getting this name mentioned as like one of the top guys in his position.
Yeah.
But I respect him a whole lot.
He's been every down linebacker. And you don't really see that in the National Football League. Not now, because they replaced that linebacker with a defensive back like that.
I love that's what.
Now I know when you see that defensive back,
I'm ready. Hand the ball, coach. Give me the ball. Give me the ball, coach.
I mean, that's the competitive edge that comes out. Like, yeah, I'm gonna defeat you instead of you defeating me. That's very interesting. Yeah, but like you say, the game has changed. But one thing I did like, and it was during the Tennessee Titan game.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the game, you know, it's a 4-minute drill. We run this clock out.
Game over.
Game over. What was it like? I mean, I haven't felt that way. Like I remember it happening.
Right.
I looked at my wife and kids. I was like, "God, it's a 4-minute drill," and they kind of looked at me like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "This is the 4-minute drill. This is where you don't let the other team get the
ball
ball back in the fourth quarter." How was that?
I was happy I was in there because I'm like this. The more I touch the ball, the better I am. You know how it is, man. You know, you get in that rhythm, you don't care what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I know, Coach Dayball's like, hey, and he asked me what I like. I was like, call power, call, let me play with the linebackers. Let me show them something and take it away and, hit the A guy, hit the backside, and, I knew they was doing an all-out blitz. So I was like, I knew we were doing a power play.
Right.
And I think the outside backer from the outside edge. I was like, hey, I know he was gonna come. So I said, how short y'all, you supposed to hit it up in there fast. I was like, okay, I know he for the crash. So I said, I took some time on my little job.
See, you slowed it down a little bit. You slowed it down a little bit.
So when I saw him crash, and I knew all the other back was already in front.
Right.
Anything I know I couldn't get back in the egg out because he was gonna come down like this.
Right.
So I said, you know what, I'm gonna let him crash and I'm gonna come behind him.
And you mentioned something right there before that, slowing down a little bit before you being a veteran guy and knowing that guy's gonna crash down like that. I don't have to go full speed. Right, I don't have to go full speed. Yeah. I can slow it up a little bit. Yeah,
That's what I did.
And sometimes, and then being at that part, and a lot of people don't notice, and you like, oh, well, he had 7.5 yards now instead of 7 yards.
Right.
See, we know all this stuff.
But
nobody watching it going like,
they gonna set up. I'm gonna let it set up. Let me get a little deeper.
Exactly. That's all you do.
Yep.
Let a little deeper, but go a little slower.
Right.
Then just let that guy just go about his business. So, ooh, man, this is nice. I like talking like this. This is it. Yeah. You go over 15,000 yards. Obviously, a lot of people seen the tweet. I saw it. Right. Barry congratulated you for going over 15,000 yards. I mean, one of the all-time great, if not the greatest.
Right.
How'd that make you feel?
Man, it was big. It was big because that's Barry Sanders, man.
Right.
I was a child. When you're a child, I was a child, man, and Amick, we kids, so we like this guy better than this guy. And,
right.
Let's be real, man. Barry was doing it with, and not to down none of his guys.
Not at all.
Come on, man, Thurman. What he did
not at
in
all.
10 years, 15,000, man, and I'm like, I'm 15 years. It took me 15 years.
15 years,
man.
right? Yeah.
And he did it, and I'm not trying to down his
no,
guys he
not
played
at all.
with.
And I think people generally they understand that.
Yeah.
Like I said,
this game's tough.
Yeah.
I don't like to down nobody play this game.
Nope, not at all.
I know how tough
not
it
at
is.
all. Not at all.
Man,
if you made it to this level,
it's tough. You know what I'm saying?
It's been a tough road for you. Exactly, for everybody.
And for him to do that in 10 years, man.
Yeah.
never go to playoffs once, I think.
Hey,
Twice.
Twice in 10 years.
And 15,000, man, that's big.
If he had played another 2 or 3 years, and me and Emmett always talk about this, Emmett always say, if Barry played another 2 or 3 years, there's no way in hell I get this record. Right. There's no way I'm the leading rusher in the National Football League unless I'm just out there playing with a team here trying to get some yards to get it. Because he said if Barry were to play, just think about it. He averaged over 1,500 yards for 10 years. He played 2 more years, that's already, 19,000 yards. There's no way Emmett gets that.
I want to know, when you was in Oklahoma State and he came in, did you see it right away?
Nope.
Like how?
Didn't see it right away. We did not see it right away.
No?
No, it took a while. It took a while. Now, he was behind me my junior year. He was a freshman, and I had just torn my ACL.
So you didn't get surgery?
No, I didn't get surgery.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, I didn't get surgery. They told me that. I opted out of surgery.
I remember that when they used to talk about this guy playing without an ACL.
Yeah.
So when I did mine, I was thinking, how did...
15 years I played with a partial torn ACL, but I wore a brace.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I wore a brace.
Yeah.
And so back to you, we didn't see it. We saw it. Yeah, anybody could have made that move.
Oh, yeah?
You're a running back, right? Yeah, you're a running back. So his freshman year, he takes the kickoff back 100 yards. Oh, he playing special team. Everybody like, oh, okay, yeah. The following year, he takes it back another 100 yards. Opening game at Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we saw it. That's what it took me 2 years to see it.
Dang.
It took me 2 years to see it because he wasn't.
So was y'all rotating or?
Nah, I was a guy.
It was Larry Coker was there, right?
Yeah, Larry Coker was there. Yeah, Larry Coker was there. We were rotating, but if I got tired or whatever, I let him come in. Then I go back in.
That's how it was.
I mean, yeah.
Portis.
Yeah, exactly.
So when he was a young guy, Portis used to do this with me when I was a freshman. Portis used to be like, and that's why I respected him. A lot of guys, man, they see another guy can play.
Yeah.
They kind of get bitter. You know what I'm saying?
I was never bitter.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I respect Portis.
No.
That's why.
Right.
That's why I respect Portis to this day.
Yeah.
So Portis to be like, hey, Frank, I'm about to go kill it this first half. Hey, I'm gonna give you the second.
Up,
you know
right?
what I'm
Exactly.
Like,
I know. Well, see, that's what happened.
And I was a freshman. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go.
That was my senior year. Man, I would be like, okay, coach, I think you might have something here. So you run me about 5-6 times in a row. I don't mind taking a breather.
Right.
I don't mind taking a breather.
Let you get in your rhythm.
Let me get in my rhythm and all this stuff. And so Barry would come in and be like, oh, all right. I've been out for 3 plays. I've been out for 4 plays. Okay, I get it. I understand it.
Yeah.
But man, that's how it was for about the last 6 games of the year. Man, we were putting up numbers. But as I look back over the career, he just wasn't ready back when he first got there. He just wasn't. Nobody really saw it.
Right.
Nobody really saw it.
Man.
15 years later, obviously the game has changed. What are you still striving to accomplish in the National Football League?
Well, I feel that I still love it. I'm still having fun. I know I still can play because I got my opportunity early on in the season. In some games we do go old school.
Right.
And that's what I'm in.
Right.
So,
that's what you're in. Right.
So, I'm still enjoying it, having fun. I got a young guy like Devin, who a great kid. I feel like I can help for a long, to make him be successful in this league. And once I sit back and I see him doing his thing, I can be like, hey, I got a part of that, So
right.
And I'll be good.
And that's what it's all about, man. And that's
good.
why I think to have that veteran leadership in that locker room. In that running back position, like you just mentioned, Devin, still a young kid, still gonna need some veteran leadership. So I, as a former running back here with the Buffalo Bills, really appreciate everything you've done on the field and off the field. You have been everything and more.
Thank you.
From what I hear, and I appreciate that.
No, I remember you come up to me, man, when I was with the Colts.
When you went to Colts, I met you right out there.
Before the game, you was like, man, I appreciate the way you play the game. That man, that meant a whole lot.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I was there just for that reason because
Yeah,
I had never met you
Yeah, I
before.
remember that.
All the way up until that point, I said, you know what, Frank Gore is that dude be balling.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go down and meet him. I was saying
you
when
met me in
I
the,
sought you out, I was like, hey Frank, how you doing?
Yeah, I
I
remember that,
introduced
yeah.
myself. Yeah, you were like, oh yeah.
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 That made me feel good, man. You know,
Yeah.
because I respect what you done in this league when when your time was here, and for you, even when Marshall came up to me when I was a rookie, and then you come up to me like it was I was 14, 13 years in, man.
Yeah.
And knowing how tough this game is and what you did in this league, man, I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was so happy, and I had a good day that day.
Yeah, you did have a good day that day. That's right, you did.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate it,
Thanks,
man.
man.
Thanks for sitting down and having a
Oh, yeah.
conversation with me
Anytime.
about your career.
Anytime, man.